finished my night here and I feel like I need to take a deeper breath than I have all of these hours. I don't know how I feel about today. Going into a museum and being around a lot of people where we're all collectively having individual thoughts about like the same one thing hanging on the wall, I feel like one wants to go and start a new year on the right foot, and that was my intention as well. So yeah, see you in the voiceover.
All right, let's get into it. Welcome to my first video on my artist channel. Hola, bienvenidos. I am going to be speaking in English for this video, but I hope to branch out into Spanish. My name is Soleil. I am a Mexican American artist raised in Brooklyn, New York, and I wanted to challenge myself and go on a solo artist date, trying to reconnect with traditional art, or at least make a channel where I explore different types of art forms and mediums: painting, photography, sculptures, performing arts. Just trying to rediscover that side of life now that I have reverted to Islam. I have been Muslim for almost a year now. Alhamdulillah. That is a very exciting and beautiful thing that I'm able to finally say. And I'm really excited to see how that new change in my life inspires my artistry and what path that will take, because essentially I feel like I'm starting over, drawing inspiration from this new change in my life, and also drawing not so new inspiration but recollecting it and reframing it. And let's just put a cap on that one for now, because it's a very heavy topic and it's one I hope to discuss a little bit down the line. So without further ado, this is my video going up to the Museum of Modern Art. I had invited my bestie, but then she became unavailable, so I definitely had to stick to my guns and fight the anxiety that I felt once I realized that there was definitely a crowd, because there was a line wrapping around the entire block. The entrance was on 53rd Street and the line went all the way around 54th. You know, something in me, I should have thought about this, but maybe I was avoiding it, honestly, just so that I wouldn't chicken out completely. But it does go without saying, a museum is going to be crowded most likely. It's New York City. It's a super popular destination site. And I just had to work through that social anxiety. I was there on a mission to reconnect with art. So the first thing I had to do was try to recollect myself and find a quiet place, which honestly I didn't find it. But there was this painting by Suzanne Jackson that it's called Wind and Water, that stuck out to me like a beacon of calmness, which was exactly why I wanted to go to the museum. There are pieces like this that really spoke to me, and I had very few rules for that night, but the essence of why I wanted to go was to really connect with pieces that either spoke to me because of color or composition. And I just was not going to go near a painting or a piece if it did not truly draw my attention, because I was not about to spend 5 hours in a museum, like forcing myself to go up to every piece. And yeah, that's kind of how this night went. Like that was my rule.
And to help with my visit, I downloaded the Bloomberg Connects app, which provides some audio or transcripts about some of the artwork on display whenever available.
Essentially, learning that this artist very much loves to incorporate or at least have some sort of reflection on her culture and upbringing. And as a woman, I love learning about other artists, but particularly women, and their stories and the influence of femininity in their works, and the fluidity, whoa, weird word, tongue twister a little bit. The fluid I swear I know English. Okay, that word. The way that it definitely drew my attention, and when things are slightly abstract, like you can't really tell what it is, and you really want to focus in and pay your attention to these little details that the artist cares to involve, like that's why I sat down and really took it in and pretty much used this piece as a way to calm myself. and get started on my night there.
This vlog is just airing out the thoughts I had while observing the artwork I gave my time to. My hopes are to continue to learn from other people of color in the art community and share my perspective, and hopefully reach an audience that wants to learn alongside with me.
Here's another piece that genuinely the performance aspect of this art piece and the photography is like a storytelling in itself, and the placement of them. Like, I genuinely really loved reading along or listening along with the audio on the app because it made it easier to gently remind myself that there are people who kind of reach out, right? They're reaching out to society in a way with their art and the stuff that they're saying with their pieces. And it probably does say a lot about me that I like talking about these pieces. They're important to me. Here's one where an artist is exploring his Native American and Mexican descent, trying to tie the two together, and the two profiles were just I when I saw that portrait on the wall, I was like I knew I had to really just like step in. Unfortunately, that one didn't have an audio description or anything, but I knew that I would end up be drawn to these Latino pieces or Hispanic pieces. I just really did not know, and I did not expect almost all of them to be Hispanic or Latino pieces, but I'm glad that I did. I think it's funny that the connection is there without it really trying. This is a world-renowned museum, and it means a lot, obviously, to go into something this well recognized and having a space for our cultures here. Uh, So yeah, I mean, there's a piece that's gonna come up that reminded me of a portrait my sister drew of my mom. This one was in color. My sister drew it in color pencil. I mean, pencil. The piece itself is called Retrato de mi Madre, Portrait of My Mother by Angel Torres Jaramillo. And I thought that how much color in contrast to the white wall right around. It's a very small piece, and it was recognized for being just that, for its quote, striking grandeur and intensity. And I love that all of these pieces in our Latino culture, that is the first thing that you see, the vibrancy of the colors, the little the texture that comes through is just an intensity that draws me in. It makes me very proud to see these types of pieces where the color, the vibrancy of our culture just bounces off the canvas, the picture, the wall in contrast to these pieces. It's very purposefully done because we say culture, but we also intertwine our history with a lot of these things. And as much as we can celebrate vibrancy in the emotion as happiness, a lot of it comes from also sadness or just something somber about our history sometimes that doesn't show through in other ways of communicating, like language. Sometimes the depiction is something much stronger that carries our history. Before I forget, this collection is called Indigenism and the Avant Garde, which it speaks a lot about the artists that sought out social justice for indigenous people in their own native countries, be it Mexico, Peru, Ecuador. That right there is exactly what ties us all together. The beauty in our culture, the struggles in our culture, but the ability to strive forward. And standing here in 2023, seeking to find my own way of making an impression with my own art. A lot of these topics, of striving histories that exist and have existed for a long time, it's no wonder that I was drawn to these pieces. And I truly only walked over to certain pieces like this one because of the color from afar. It just completely absorbs you. And it's nice to take a moment and try to reflect on somebody's intention with these pieces, knowing that they lived in a different time than we did. They lived under different circumstances and different societies that I may relate to, but I also will never get to really see. So it's important to just like, for me as a Mexican American, to go to these pieces in person and really like see those art pieces. It means a lot to me. And I encourage anybody who has any interest in these types of topics to at least like, put on your earphones like I did, look at these pieces, give it your time and appreciation, just for the sake of trying to understand other societies or other types of people that you might not be directly tied to. uh, yeah, as an artist, as a art enthusiast, as anybody who cares, I think this is why these pieces speak so much to me. And I don't need to advocate for these types of pieces. They're very well known pieces, but that's exactly why I went to the museum. I love art, and I'm an artist, so I might have different ways of looking at these things. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I came to this museum probably with very little expectations because I just wanted to thoroughly enjoy the experience by myself, the solo date that I had with myself. And here's a piece by Salvador Dali that I love. It's a very small piece. I was very excited to see. And I don't want to talk about this one because this one is, you go look it up yourself. It's a beautiful piece, but I feel like a lot of my heart was drawn to my people's pieces. And by the end of it, I ran into this last piece, which was a guided meditation in its audio description on the Bloomberg Connects app. And that's exactly what I needed by the end of the night. It was a beautiful piece to just look at and interact with silently on the bench. And then I had to get myself going. I had to make my way home. And well, just to wrap it up, I also did go to quote eat by myself. I just went to go get a slice and that was it. But, anyways, thank you for tuning in. I don't know what to call these types of videos yet. I hope to do more. I hope to also have better audio because I'm probably going to be better at doing the voiceovers than talking in the video directly. That's not going to happen. I'm not taking a mic outside just to get better audio. That's more challenges, man. But yeah, thank you for tuning in.